kutenda. Right, mambondibata muchiti tikurukure nenyaya yemukomana yaNyokayemabhunu zviri kuitika zviri paground. Ndogona kukupa henyu flow motsanangura kuti zviri kufamba sei, zvakamira sei, muri kuzvionawo sei?
Aiwa, chinhu chakanaka chatinofanirwa kuti titaure nezvacho. And vana veZimbabwe are ready, but ndisati ndapinda zvakanyanya munyaya, ndoda kungoyeuchidza vana veZimbabwe kuti we are Zimbabweans. Whether you are in Zimbabwe or you are in diaspora, we are Zimbabweans.
Yes.
And ngazvigare zvakazivikanwa kuti it is a constitutional right of every Zimbabwean to have a freedom of speech and have freedom of association. Zimbabwe is a multi-party state.
Yes.
Kutenderwa kutamba politics sevana veZimbabwe. Asi tichitamba politics ngaivhure mukana competition of ideology.
Yes.
Age difference ngatitendere mukana wepfungwa dzevechidiki kupikisa, kuita kuti kana dzichinge dzapikisa totora tinenge tiinadzo nedzapikisa tobudisa chinova nyika kuenda kumberi. Ndogara ndichitaura ndiri muofisi yeNational Chairperson weZimbabwe Independent Movement kuti we are here for progress. Now, nyaya yaComrade Nyokayemabhunu is a sad story. And vana veZimbabwe vari kuzviziva kuti Comrade Nyokayemabhunu was a well-known critic of President Mnangagwa. And apart from the fact yekuti he was the mouthpiece of the suspected sectional fight of the regime, but the guy was airing his mind. And by so doing, we know out of everything which he uttered, there are good things to pick up. And maybe on the attitude, we might find an element of the wrong. Comrade Nyokayemabhunu can actually understand the issues which he is incarcerated for. I am following this case. Very closely, understanding that the people of Zimbabwe needs to be well informed. Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is in Sun City. His court proceedings are taking they are taking progress in Randburg. Dambudziko ratanaro panapa nderekuti we have got a problem with social media driven narratives. Social media driven narratives haisiri kuvhiringidza vana veZimbabwe chete, but social media driven narrative is opening a door kuvana veZimbabwe to be robbed. Kaita groups akawanda ari collecta mari. Kaita akawanda ane voices akasiyana siyana. Vachitaura we are the loyalists to Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, and we are pushing a revolution through the backing of Comrade Geza and all those sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it has just come to our attention that the people of Zimbabwe, they are being robbed. Currently, as we are speaking now, Comrade Nyokayemabhunu was represented by the first lawyer, Mr. Machingura. And I understand that Mr. Machingura can't explain much about him, but I really believe that from the guys of the revolution, they can account on him. We also have Yugi, who is the lawyer brought by Gambakwe Media. He was being paid by Gambakwe. But the two things which are there is that he also claimed that he was putting his own money, but there are some monies which were being collected from the Zimbabweans. We also have the advocate Cheryl. He's a lawyer who is paid by a guy called Comrade Godwin. He is also a politician. This man is just a well-wisher for Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, was connected to Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, but he simply was every problem which befall a Zimbabwean, it must touch the heart of the Zimbabwean. He came on board. I think you heard of the commotion which happened last kuchinje kwauya zvigananda zvatumirwa neZANU-PF kuti chigozotora Nyokayemabhunu pabail application on and all those commotions zvakaitika.
Yes.
We actually sent a team which had to investigate over that and found out that one of the people who was being said to be Gananda was the advocate Cheryl. And I had time to speak to Comrade Godwin, as well as to understand his point of departure. And he made it clear to me that, Stole, I actually found out about Nyokayemabhunu and the legal representatives which were there. And I had to find out that most of these people who were representing him were attorneys. And this was confirmed by Yugi. Then he thought of bringing an advocate because there is a limitation to the attorney where it comes a situation where the case might be needed to go to the High Court. So the thinking of an advocate from Comrade Godwin was actually to capacitate the legal representative for Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. However, when he brought Cheryl, he first went to the court to find out if the guy is represented, and they told him that he is represented by the attorney, the one with a mandate, but you can find out an advocate for this case. It's quite complicated. That was his narrative to me. I did understand that. I also got a chance to speak to advocate Cheryl. Then we were together with Comrade Godwin and also some other guys, and at one point with the other attorney for Gambakwe. And we could see that, okay, they are actually representing Comrade Nyokayemabhunu out of good faith, which actually comes to give us a clear chance to upload whatever anyone is doing. And we had to now revisit the narrative of Gananda again. We actually came to realize that during the time when Cheryl went to the court trying to seek a mandate to represent Comrade Nyokayemabhunu out of the 15,000 which she received from Godwin, there was another Zimbabwean human rights lawyer who had come to the court just for observation. And the lawyer is the old advocate Gabriel Shumba. He's actually a human rights lawyer with a traceable record of representing the Zimbabweans and also the people who flee from Zimbabwe due to these political related issues, including Roy Bennett. He is the one who did the case. Why am I knowing all this? I have also made an effort to actually conduct the advocate to revisit the narrative of Gananda because I was part of the people in the court. Then I sat down with him. We actually discussed. Right. brought me to a point where I now want to understand what is the relationship between the three lawyers. Who is the first lawyer who did the first affidavit? Who is the second lawyer who represented, and also with the third lawyer? This actually made me to understand clearer. I established the fact that the first lawyer, Mr. Machingura, was connected to the guys who are actually saying they are pushing the revolution and the close associates of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. The second lawyer is connected to Gambakwe, and there's nothing wrong about that. The third lawyer is connected to Comrade Godwin, as I'm talking about. Then the main concern here is the structure of payment of these lawyers. That is the whole scenario now, which comes to make a drama. And it also disturbed me to understand really, are we here to help or we are here to make money? I think you sent me some of the disturbing audios which you got from Mudzingwa. I understand Saruwaka is quiet. He's not talking anything. Respect to the man. He's just containing himself, not to get the situation out of the proportion. But the fact is one. Effort made to the lawyer who did the first affidavit, Comrade Machingura, claims that he had to drop the case because there was no payment. We don't know how far true it is. Confirmation was done to the lawyer who is representing the case, Yugi from Gambakwe, confirming that she received the monies from Gambakwe and only 5,000 from the guys. Then again, we come to Advocate Cheru. Is actually the advocate was ordained because it was said she doesn't have a mandate. She only received 15,000 from Comrade Godwin, a well-wisher, and never received anything. But now, most of the questions which drove this whole thing, people are saying, where is the money which are being donated by the people of Zimbabwe? You don't have an answer on that. You are also part of the people who asked me the very same question. But now, yours is derived from the narrative, backed up by the audios you have sent me. The payment structure of the lawyers representing Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is actually in deficit. There is a huge amount which is being owed. I think Gambakwe can also second that. He has got the whole of the record, because an effort was done and made to actually bring every lawyer under one invoice, which actually didn't. I think it yielded nothing. Right. What I'm trying to say here, the life of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is in danger as a political activist. But the Zimbabweans, we are not doing enough to actually save the man. There is time to make steps. There is time to be clear.
Yes.
We don't need to actually interfere into the judicial proceedings of the matter or justice to save its cause. But we are saying, I think we are blowing too much of the trumpet of this Gananda to push the people of Zimbabwe to act in donation based on the sympathy derived from the narratives which we are selling. There is a gap when it comes to the ground of reality. And because of that, I need the people of Zimbabwe to make sure that they do a balance and check with the people on the ground to make sure things are being done. You know, whenever I speak representing unity, I speak representing accountability
Yes.
because we want to see progress. But as of current situation now, a system has been put in place, um, coming from different organization, progressive forces in the diaspora to do the investigations, and information is coming out and also support chaos. This must come to stop and let us focus on serving Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Maybe let me give you chance. Maybe you have got a question to redirect the narrative. But this is the whole situation which I've just narrated now.
Right. Thank you very much, General, for clarifying what is really going on. Right. And some of us, we are not that educated. Was it necessary for Comrade Nyokayemabhunu to have 3 or 4 different lawyers? That's my first question.
Right. With my little knowledge, it wasn't necessary to have 3 lawyers. But when I try to get more information on why did we end up having 3 lawyers, it is a matter of lack of the communication amongst the people. Comrade Nyokayemabhunu became a public figure and he drew much attention of the Zimbabweans because of the anti-Zimbabwe chant.
Yes.
I don't see any wrong about that because he is a child of Zimbabwe, having the constitutional mandate or right to have a freedom of association. The only bad part of it is that he has been suspected or he has been hijacked by the people who were pushing the anti-2030 faction and the anti-Mnangagwa faction in ZANU-PF, whereby I think where he is now, he is also a victim of that. The cases of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu are 3. The first case is the extradition case, which is being applied by the Interpol. It is being done by Interpol. It is citing that Comrade Nyokayemabhunu has got a pending case with the judicial system in Zimbabwe due to the case of 2014, where he was given an order by the court to compensate the people or the victim of the Teurairopa housing cooperatives. That case was for 2015, but the extradition was actually applied 2025, April 25. That was just 2 weeks after the arrest of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Is an extradition standing in the court. Then the second case is a case which was opened by Honest Shumba. Honest Shumba is citing that he deposited 14,000 into Comrade Nyokayemabhunu's account, pending the delivery of couches on the deal they did. So it actually developed to a fraud case. You know, that man was deposited 5 days before the arrest of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Is also standing. And the third case is the immigration case, contravening of the Immigration Act of South Africa, where he did not have a valid passport or permit, but found in the boundaries of South Africa. These cases can be combined to be 3. I don't think, if you can check the gravity of the case, they needed 3 lawyers. Number 2, I will say it was not the initial plan to actually have 3 lawyers. As I told you that the one filed by Comrade Godwin is a lawyer who was standing on her own, trying to aid or to come and represent. The one brought by Gambakwe is a lawyer who was coming to also represent. The one also who was the first person to represent Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is a friend. So what I'm thinking here, since Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is a public figure, all of us, we want to actually cling to the name and gain a name or a popularity based on our hand to him, since he is a public figure. That is what resulted into having so many lawyers, which also has brought a discord even to the affidavit presented to the magistrate, which ended up giving a confusion, also resulting as push factor for him not to get bail. So, on a real state of the matter, there is no need for him to have 3 lawyers. I think that can be my answer. But it ended up happening because everyone wanted to field, either on good faith or not on good faith, is something to actually look into and judge whenever we now take from the events which are unfolding. Yes.
Right, yeah, so it make sense. And then the other thing, looking at Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, we have seen him, and some of us, we have been following him on his WhatsApp channel platform, and then he had his team, and they were sending audios, exchanging days and time, and every morning we could hear someone coming in preaching and passing in the message and stuff like that. And then now Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is arrested, and the team is saying everything is being taken care of. Yet we are seeing Gambakwe coming from an other end, saying he is the one in charge of what needs to be done. He must fundraise, he must find a lawyer, he must go and pick Nyokayemabhunu. And now the other team now, instead of them to join forces to fight and kuti Nyokayemabhunu abude, the two of them, those two camps, they are fighting for credit to say, I'm the one responsible, you must listen to me, don't listen to these guys. These other guys are saying, don't listen to this guy because we are the one close to Nyokayemabhunu. How do you see that having an impact on the case? And then also on the other side, everyone is fundraising for Nyokayemabhunu. There is no an issue for accountability. We don't know who paid how much and when to who and what time. So we don't even know how much Gambakwe has. We don't even know how much these Nyokayemabhunu guys have, the Saruwaka guys have, you see. So do you see like Comrade Nyokayemabhunu going out anytime soon with this kind of a conflict? Like everyone wants to be part of it, but it seems like they are benefiting something behind.
Right, DJ, I will give you one statement before I comment on that. Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is a politician. Right. I will come now to your question. There is a lot of things which transpired prior to the incarceration of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. And post the incarceration of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Comrade Nyokayemabhunu was having a channel which was pulling 288,000 people who were the followers. That channel was hijacked. And when it was hijacked, a narrative was sold that it is his Gananda who hijacked the channel. I am no one to judge on this matter, whether it is true or it is false that it is Kananda. But there is a truth which I have. After the hijack of the channel, there was another channel which was opened, and that channel went up to 91,000. Now it's at 89 because people are leaving that channel. I don't know what is the reason. This channel, the spokesperson there is Comrade Saruwaka, and I think most of the people knows Comrade Saruwaka. And the man is trying to give the heads up of the proceedings which are taking place and everything. And that is where the fundraising is being done. We know about Mudzingwa, the one whom you just sent me a message now. Yeah, a lot of people. But do not forget my point when I said Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is a politician. He had also his political links, whom I think now has just taken over the case from yesterday after seeing that things are going out of proportion. And pertaining that issue, Gambakwe, I think the man, somewhere, somehow, he needs to be given credit. Why am I saying he needs to be given credit? The first thing he did was to look for Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Whether he was linked to what transpired or he's not linked to what transpired to Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, but the fact will remain the same. He made the first move. He is the guy who found out where was Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. He's the first person to actually know that he is going to appear in the court. And it is proven by effect that his lawyer, Yugi, is the one who has got the mandate to represent. And all these other lawyers should not represent. You understand? And Mr. Machingura was also part of those who arrived early at the court. I think he had also the mandate. So I think Gambakwe, standing on a position to fundraise, he merit that chance by having a lawyer who was fielded voluntarily, but also expecting to issue an invoice. That is why you ended up seeing him fundraising. Same applies to these guys. They say, even though their message was contradicting, at some point they were saying we are paying the lawyers. At some point they're saying no, big bosses were paying the lawyers. But lately we saw Saruwaka saying there are no other big bosses behind us. You, the people of Zimbabwe, are the ones who are paying the lawyer. Even though the lawyer is confirming that we didn't get the payment according to the intelligence which is running this matter, since we have seen that the problem is going out of hand. So now, the collection of money which is being done might be the cause of the chaos which is in now. But my statement which I said, to say Comrade Nyokayemabhunu was a politician, and he has got people whom he is playing politics with, who are part of the people who have taken over now. I have done a question to Comrade Saruwaka, and he gave me a green light because the pressure was on me from the people who were following this matter and the crowd which was going there. What is going on? He said to me, General, no one has got a mandate to lead the revolution. Anyone can lead the revolution, which actually gave a green light also to the people to run their intelligence and everything. So even if the people of Zimbabwe are the victims, if I overheard, and I'm clear about it, I heard that there is going to be a hotline which is going to be sold using the credible national television to actually instruct the people of Zimbabwe who did a donation into this to send a proof of payment so that it can run now a rough sketch of how much was put into this, while also a committee was established, the political committee which is going to run the matter, and also on the political aspect of the matter. The legal, I think it will be finalized by tomorrow. The legal committee, which is going to also work with the existing advocates to actually run the legal aspect of the matter, and also the team which is going to be running this financial crisis to see that there is accountability over driving this matter. And while we are saying this, we are pleading to the government of Zimbabwe that they need to actually respect the proceedings of the judicial system of South Africa so that it doesn't lose its credibility. But if there are any outstanding cases, Comrade Nyokayemabhunu is just a child of Zimbabwe. They can actually work with him as a citizen. We are actually politically pleading with them to that. But as of now, whether they are on demand of wanting Comrade Nyokayemabhunu, it is also putting the Zimbabweans and the diaspora community on a verge of being scammed. So they need to allow the people to work around this matter so that we help first Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. Apart from being a politician, he is a family man and a child of a family which needs to see him time and again. Therefore, let them respect that and make sure that we decrease the political influence into the proceeding of this matter until we help the man.
Yeah. It's making sense. It's making sense. I don't think I have any more questions when it comes to that Comrade Nyokayemabhunu story, because mostly I haven't been following the story, to be honest. But here and there, I could post one or two an update from the people who can who has been following the story and who are sending me like the updates on what is really going on. So I don't know if you've got anything to add on this issue. Your last words before we close down.
My last word is that let us stay vigilant as the Zimbabweans. I don't know it is because of poverty or it is because of the lack of humanity. Our people are just taking chances of making money anyway and anyhow. And this must come to stop.
Yeah.
We are the children of Zimbabwe. We have got political crisis we are having, and we are fighting to resolve amongst the other countries in Africa, striving to actually still stand whenever they are trying to operate their political business because of the interference. Therefore, let us deal with the problems we are having in Zimbabwe as unified Zimbabweans, the diasporan community and the people on the ground. But let us not lose our humanity. Let us not lose our dignity because we just want to see things which works now. We are seeing flying vulgar languages and the audios being sent and the threats and all this stuff. Please, especially the diaspora community, let us come back to our senses and make sure that whatever we are going to do, we can account for it tomorrow. Let us also try all avenues on how we can help Comrade Nyokayemabhunu. The political crisis which is in Zimbabwe and in ZANU-PF in particular, I understand there is intelligence in Zimbabwe and the people in ZANU-PF knows how to actually dig their information. Let us not interfere into the judicial system of the other country. because it is going to lose our credibility as a nation. We are working towards taking this matter to the national platform, and I think all letters have been delivered already now to all the national platforms, and it is also a clear message, if I didn't miss anything, that the human rights defenders of South Africa has been already conducted, and the main reason there is that they are going to also conduct the human rights defenders of Zimbabwe to bring them knowledge of this matter, so that we can have an integration of information between the two bodies, because we are having the South African soil holding Zimbabwean problems and Zimbabwean soil pushing their own request to the South African soil. So it's also good. The next move which is going to be done is to engage the pressure groups of South Africa and political parties of South Africa to be engaged into this matter. Already, Engine Mineral is into it through Zakele Zuma. It is also in the table of the Soweto Parliament. I think it is going to be involved, but we haven't got any reply yet. But we believe that they are going to be part of this. The reason why we are doing it, we are not doing it to counter what the government wants, but we are actually acting in defense of Comrade Nyokayemabhunu and his right to live. And by so doing, we are going to separate politics from criminal acts and let the judiciary take its own course until everything is sorted. But the fact is that we are Zimbabweans. We are going to stand as the Zimbabweans. So is the pressure groups, all the organizations in the diaspora. And we are still inviting other organizations to also be part of this, because the citizens are innocent.
Right. Thank you very much, General, for your time, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.